shit to my homies.
Bro, they've came from shit.
Yeah, no, I know. You told me like a little bit about what they've been
through. My dad was like 6. My dad was Jacob's age when like his whole family left his ass to like fend for himself. Like, I'm not being serious.
How long was he homeless?
He didn't have, bro, until he was like 15, 16.
Wow.
No one made sure he went to school. No one made sure he couldn't write. They left his ass there, bro. Think about that shit.
Yeah. How did he figure it out? Like life out. What did he do? Did he ever tell you what he did?
Bro, he just figured it out.
Did he ever tell you specifics?
What do you mean specifics?
Like, was he like robbing from the stores and shit?
No, remember, it's Jamaica, so like, there's fruit everywhere.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure like he probably took what he had to take, and
yeah.
Like, he was ready, like, raising. It's kind of fucked up how they did it. Like, people were leaving one by one, so he just kept doing more and more chores. You get what I'm saying?
Does he know why they left?
No, they never answered why they left him there.
Has he reconnected with them since?
He went, and when he was like 20, paid for his own ticket.
What was he doing at the time?
To meet his mom for the first time.
God damn. What was he doing?
Not the first time, but first time since you remember. Like,
do you know what he was doing at 20 in Jamaica?
Yeah, he was cooking.
Okay.
He was fixing cars. He was doing construction.
Okay. And then how did he figure out where mom's was?
I mean, like, phone conversation.
Oh, okay. So they kind of kept in touch?
Not really.
Not really.
He just pressed for it. He flew because he was about to move. He was about to move to Georgia, the country.
Yeah.
Because the girl that he was with was like some like engineer, and she was gonna go to Georgia and work for this big ass company. And he was engaged to her, and so before he went to Georgia, he wanted to go meet his family. So he saw all his brothers and sisters for the first time. Saw his mom for the first time, and like no one ever could tell him why they left him in Jamaica. He doesn't know who his dad really is.
Wow.
And when he was 15, this guy named Mr. Mack, who he assumes is his dad, like came and picked him up one day and was like, "Go, come live with me." Which was like a distant cousin. We don't know. We don't know what the fucking story, because no one ever fucking talked about it. But that nigga like abused him.
Damn, bro.
Fucked up story, right? So like,
yeah,
crazy.
What's even wilder is the fact that he made a life for himself.
Bro,
that's the hardest part to believe. You know, like think about like
my dad's so different, bro.
As hard as that story is to believe,
yeah, the
hardest part is the ending.
Bro, how he still makes things happen? How is he like he never abused alcohol. He never like beat our asses. Like he's not angry. He's not an angry person.
Yeah, he's well spoken. Like I can tell he's intelligent.
Like he's done everything right. And so my mom, same kind of shit. She was raised in a household when she was 14. She went to London. No, when she was 14, my grandma met her daughter my grandma left my mom when she was 6 weeks old.
Your grandma? Moved away from her daughter?
Left Jamaica when my mom was 6 weeks old. She's supposed to bring the baby up. Now, mind you, a baby cannot survive at 6 weeks old without the mother's milk. Or like milk and shit.
Where was your mom's mom? Oh, your grandma.
Yeah, my grandma.
Got it. I took that as her grandma.
Yeah, my mom's mom, right? She left. But luckily, my mom's grandma, my great grandma,
yeah,
she got pregnant with my aunt, my great aunt. So my great aunt and my mom are the same age, and they also look alike.
That's crazy.
That's crazy as fuck.
That's
and
really
so remember, my grandma was probably like in her 70s, or like late 60s when she got pregnant.
What?
Bro, so like my grandma would tell my mom that she thinks that she got pregnant at that late of an age.
Is it like a gift from God?
So she can provide for her.
Wow.
But my grandma told that the girl that was in London was her older sister. So when I was 14, she goes to the airport, right? And my grandma's telling her that's her older sister because she didn't want to hurt her, because she didn't know she's going to come back, pick her up. And so my mom goes, "Hi, sister." And the first thing my grandma does is slap my mom across the face and says, "I'm your mom."
Oh, my God.
Mom doesn't know that's her mom, though. It's the first thing she did. Her first interaction with her mom was that.
And it's like an actual, like,
so mom's
wide awakening.
Like, she
just meets her mom, gets slapped by her mom.
Gets slapped by her mom, just find out that is her mom.
What the fuck?
Then proceeds to go to London because her mom was like, "Bring her to London." Right? My mom does not know her dad at this point.
Yeah.
All these questions, whatever. And then my grandma's like, she's like wilding. There's different men in the house. So obviously they're divorced. And then my mom and her used to fight a lot. And my mom almost got raped by one of her boyfriends and all this shit. So my mom almost got raped by one of her boyfriends. She comes back from work and my grandma threw all my mom's shit outside. So my mom was living on the subway for 2 years, bro.
Oh my god.
Isn't that fuck, bro? Crazy shit, bro. So then, like,
this was in Jamaica,
bro. No, this is in London now.
Okay.
She didn't live in London though. She's from Jamaica.
Right.
She's been in Jamaica for 3 years, or London for 3 years. 1 year with her mom, 2 years on the streets.
Oh my god.
On the subway.
No money to get back home.
Nowhere to go. I'm gonna get back home. Nothing.
She couldn't go back to Jamaica. You don't think?
She couldn't get back to Jamaica. No, like.
Holy shit.
So she's there. This lady sees her and is like, "Hey, you look like somebody that, I know. And you told me you had a daughter, and I don't know." That's how she meets her dad for the first time.
What?
Yeah. My grandpa did not know that she was in the country.
So, grandpa just randomly sees her?
No, a lady sees her.
Someone random.
Says that you look like somebody I know, which is my great grandpa.
What the fuck?
Crazy ass shit. So I never blame my parents for shit because they just don't know.
Like how family dynamics
they just
are.
Don't know. And I was appreciative that like they got to where they got to.
Mm-hmm.
From like getting the little shit kicked out of them every fucking day, right? So like, I'm not expecting my but like I feel like they're like in their 30s. I feel like my parents took a lot of like aggression of their life out on me and my sister, passively, and they didn't really know, if that makes sense. So like, never like I think more just emotionally abusive and shit. My dad did have a temper, but like never like crazy. But I feel like that was like a big part of it.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, were you able, like, what age did you realize this and then not, like, resent them?
So, at, like, a very young age. And, like, I don't know, like, sometimes I think about, like, people talk about childhood trauma and shit.
Yeah.
I feel like...
That shit's real, bro.
I think I was, like, the parent for my parents. I think I've been the parents for my parents since I've been a little-ass kid.
Why?
I just feel my parents, like, put a lot of, like, shit on me. You know what I'm saying?
Like responsibility at a young age?
You know, my mom would like just start crying.
Mm.
Because like of everything. So I had to go console my mom, you know what I'm saying? And then she was telling me what's going on while she's crying and shit. And so I had to like process this at like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
Right? Heavy, deep shit in my household all the time. And so anytime, and then what was worse on top of that is like I wasn't good at school. So anytime I was like failing in school was like a slap. My mom literally took that as like a slap in her face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't appreciative. Like, yo, I'm not good at this shit. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And so that like fucked me up a little bit in the head. You know what I'm saying? And so like.
So what's the dynamic now that obviously Maddie's doing her thing and you're doing your thing?
I think like me and my mom forever.
Shout out to Maddie, by the way.
I think me and my mom forever have like a weird relationship.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think just like my mom was harder on me. Like I used to get like I used to take a blunt of the force from my mom a lot of times.
Oh, your mom was the whooper?
Yeah,
my mom was the whooper too.
Yeah, but she used to like really like. I mean, like just because I'm probably the boy, but I feel like she just took a lot of aggression out of me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
yeah,
you know, I love her, but like she would like publicly
humiliate you.
Yeah, and shit.
Like in stores and shit.
Like in stores, but I remember one time like I had struggle like even to this day like saying words or like spelling shit, and so like she would like let all the other kids know that I was like stupid, quote unquote.
Really?
Yeah, because she thought, yeah, it's kind of fucked up, bro.
She thought that shaming you would motivate you?
I think so. Because I think like a lot of teachers
that shit did not work.
A lot of teachers thought that like I was like playing dumb for attention.
Were you?
No. I was like, no, I really don't get this shit. I really can't spell.
So when did you like put it all together?
That's like an older.
Because you're intelligent.
As I started getting older. It was hard though, bro. It was definitely hard for me.
Damn. Because
it's like.
So do you think you'll be like a super lover to your kids and shit? Maybe like lovey-dovey?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, I think I'm gonna be lovey-dovey too. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I'm gonna be like, you know, we'll see, bro. We'll see what like comes out, cause like, you know, like we'll see. Like I have to break whatever, like the generational curse, and so like I think I'm gonna try my best. That's why I want like a woman that comes from like a healthy ass family structure, who knows what
balances you out. Yeah,
because like I might not. Right?
You might not know how to react in some situations.
Yeah, and what just popped in my head, I feel like I'm feeling everything that I'm so motivated to do is to fill a void, right? And so I feel like
yeah,
everything that I'm chasing right now is probably to fill some deep void within inside myself. The love I wanted.
Maybe the admiration,
love, the respect, like all that shit. I'm probably chasing.
Oh yeah,
because like
I deal with that too, bro. Because I was always viewed as like the entertainer, and my brothers were like the intelligent ones.
Yeah,
you know, like it's not that I struggled with school, but like early on, I realized that I didn't have to work very hard to get B's and C's. So I just, I understood that. I can mess around for the first 3 months and then try in December and I'll get B's. And it's cool. So like as soon as I realized that, I just kind of like played video games, like just chilled. I was the funny kid,
So for me, like I would start off good because it's easy in the beginning. Yeah. And then like fall the fuck off, bro.
You just lost the motivation?
I just went and get shit, bro.
Hmm.
I really don't know what was going on. Like,
interesting.
Like I remember I would daydream a lot in class.
I have that too.
Like I couldn't focus. I would like zone out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it was like I couldn't understand a lot of shit. And so like it just didn't work in my brain, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, just be sitting.
There's I've heard quotes 100 times that like, I don't remember exactly how it is, but it's a take on the educational system in the modern world, and it's talking about like, you sit down a bunch of different animals from different areas and different walks of life, and you all tell them to climb the tree the same way, and if they don't do it right, they're failures.
Yeah, you can't judge a fish how it climbs a tree.
Is that what the quote is? Did I just
butcher
butcher it? Okay.
No, but
I don't know what the quote is, but it's something like that, right? Like, and it's true in a lot of senses. Like, although we're all humans, like upbringing, family dynamic, everything's different.
It's crazy,
and you can't expect us to all test well, because that's really, school is really just a take on memorization and how good you are at that. Yeah. And you can't expect every kid to be good at memorization. Like, there has to be some other variable there. Now, that's not to say that memorization isn't the best form of teaching. I don't know. I don't know the solution to the education system. Yeah. Like, memorization really could be the best way to teach. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But like, it is just weird to me that there's no like other option. Yeah. Like, if someone knows that they want to do something from a young age, like for example, cooking, you knew that very young. Why are you in math class? Yeah. And it's like I understand that. Well, what if they change their mind? But also at the same time, like if they change their mind, that's on them. I don't know. It's like
teach them math through cooking, but I think teachers have
that. Yeah, that too.
I think teachers have cooking. Or whatever that you're interested in. I think teachers just have such a hard time.
Yeah.
They're not getting paid a lot. They deal with people's kids, and they basically become second mommies and daddies while these parents are at work, especially in the public school system. Yeah. And like private school, they're obviously getting paid a lot of money to make sure that you do well, and they'll find any way to make sure that you do good.
And private school, like the kids are a different breed.
Yeah, different.
You know what I mean? Like if you're coming from a family that can afford to pay $5,000 in tuition, you're probably a little bit like healthier minded, I guess. I don't know like the word, but like
environments.
Your upstairs is a little bit more organized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, just seeing like the difference between foundation is everything, but seeing being able to see from dysfunction to functional is like who knows how to run a family and who doesn't. Yeah. Right. And who was taught to run a family, who has great examples of running a family. Yeah. And so like a lot of people have this weak foundations, rich or poor. Yeah. Right. So the rich kids, I feel like they'll be freaking out, they'll be doing drugs and all that. They had such a poor foundation because maybe mom and dad were just too self-absorbed, and they had a family because they're supposed to. That's what I worry about my married girl who's also as busy as me. That like the kids will definitely become the back
second priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hardest. And I've had conversations with my pops about this. Like I give him an insane amount of credit because I believe that one of the hardest decisions you can make as an adult is to decide that you have to provide for your family versus actually be there. Like my dad had to sacrifice 40-hour work weeks typical. My dad had to sacrifice like an additional 20 to 30 hours in order to keep the lights on. And granted, like we lived very comfortable because of that. Like it wasn't only to keep the lights on, but like I give a lot of props to him because that's like the ultimate sacrifice as a parent is like sacrificing time with your kids in order to provide for them. It's like, like the single mom who works 3 jobs. It's like, that's the ultimate sacrifice. Like you love your kids so much that you will have them essentially not a part of your life because you need to provide for them. That's like the ultimate sacrifice, bro. So I give a lot of credit. Single moms get a lot of love from me. You know,
Man, you be sliding the single mom DMs?
not like that. I'm saying like I appreciate them a lot.
No,
You know what I'm
single
saying?
moms. Anyone that's like anyone that like holds that shit down, bro. Like,
Yeah, if you hold the fort down,
Cause same with my parents. When my parents both worked.
yeah,
Bro,
that's
like-
even harder. That's even harder.
Right,
Because we're talking about like my mom was still able to raise me.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but like in your situation where
my mom
essentially
probably
you raised yourself.
most days would get home. I hope my mom doesn't listen to this shit. Sorry, mom, I love you. Like maybe like 7 or 8.
Okay. Yeah, and you, what school gets done at what
2 or
2:30?
Yeah.
So you're already by yourself. You had dinner by yourself.
Pops probably
You're
got
good.
home 10, 11.
Yeah. You know what's funny
Pops
is
was
like
out by like 5 a.m.
yeah.
Mom was out by like 7 a.m. Shout out to them though, because that's how I always justify my parents love me, because they'll make sure that like me and my sister are eating good. It's like curry, like your lunch. We have like thermos, and like it'd be curry going and shit. Like obviously they make food for us, you know.
Yeah.
And so
Took
like,
care of you.
and they're like around and shit, but I just feel like a lot of like that, like 3:30 to 5 or 6, they weren't there.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a lot of like childhood development, and you leave kids to their own devices. And so like,
And I think that's probably how you came out how you did, right? Like
yeah,
the reason why you're able to problem solve well and do it your own kind of mentality
so kind of
is probably because of that, right? Like if you didn't know how to make something or do something, then you couldn't do it because you didn't have a teacher around.
So or I have to figure out how to do it.
Yeah,
so, like,
exactly.
I'll watch.
That's what I mean.
And that's how I
You
got into
either
cooking.
didn't do it or you figured it out.
Exactly.
You know.
And so
Whereas me, like, yo, mom, why is the fire alarm beeping? I need your help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's just different.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
And I had to go figure how to
Yeah.
turn off the fire alarm.
Yeah, you're like, all right, this thing's beeping. Let me take the battery out. Let me see. You know what I
I
mean?
don't know what to do. Like,
And I'm sitting here like, mom.
you know, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. No, that's exactly it.
No, this shit is crazy though, because one thing I do remember as a kid, and I don't know where I got this from, but I always just like people were telling me like, yo, I was like 5, 6, saying I wasn't going to go to college. I didn't know what college was.
Yeah, that is funny.
That just actually kind of scared me, bro, a little bit. And I was like,
That's like
so, like,
ingrained in you.
yeah, I was like hearing like Gary's story. I'm like, bro, like we're super similar, but like
Gary V.
yeah, super similar in a lot of things, but I didn't have the nurturing mom at the crib. You feel me? And so I think I came out a little bit different.
Yeah.
But like,
But you also might have read it differently. Like, you actually might have felt extremely loved, even though it wasn't necessarily put in your face. You know, from a young age.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to recognize this about my dad until later on, until I realized like what it takes to really do that.
yeah,
You know, but like you might have recognized it earlier. Obviously, we'll never know, but you might have been a kid at the home, like, oh, okay, they're at work because that's what you got to do to build a house like this. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's definitely was my thinking. And then
Yeah.
like, but one thing I didn't like is that my parents worked so hard and they had a boss.
Mm.
I will never forget this. I must have been like 12 years old. We're driving in the car, right? And I'm literally like laying into my mom about, and she literally started crying. And that's when I knew that I was like weird.
Like you were making fun of her?
No, I was just like, why
Or
do you
like-
have a boss?
Mm.
You don't need a boss. Like, and I was like 12.
She probably felt the same way too. That's why it probably hurt.
Yeah,
You
and so
know?
like,
she's probably like, yeah, I know.
my dad said when I was a kid that like, yo, I was so good with words that I could like get to anybody. Like I just knew. And so I was
Yeah.
like, damn, boy, that's crazy to me.
I was the same way growing up. I always figured out like, especially with my brothers, I was able to figure out like what made them upset,
like your pain points and shit.
and I would exploit that shit out of them.
Yeah,
things.
bro. Same.
You know.
I just knew what like people's weaknesses were, but also what their strengths were. And so like even to this day, I have this like part of my like desires is like I hate people. You've been around me, bro. I just hate people who are just not living up to their potential or
Mm-hmm.
things that they could potentially do. I have now learned later in life that like you can't make a horse drink water.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't make anyone do anything, and just because you have a plan for somebody doesn't mean that's their plan.
Yeah.
Right? Or just because you see something doesn't mean that that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And I realized that because a lot of people in my life have done that. And I was like, oh shit, like, that doesn't work, bro.
Yeah. One thing I've had to adjust to, especially because now that I'm actually going against it, is I was raised, and this was never thoroughly explained to me, but this is how I was subconsciously raised, was that school and college equals success. And that's the path.
Same, bro.
That's how I was raised, right? And so I know, like, now, like, I get a lot of fear and anxiety from not, like, going against that grain.
Yeah.
Because I was taught, essentially, like, if you go against the grain, you don't become successful. And so I've had to, I haven't figured it out. I'm still retraining my brain to recognize, okay, if this person drops out of school, that doesn't mean they're unsuccessful.
Yeah.
And also applying that to my own life. Like, okay, just because I'm not pursuing what my degree is in doesn't mean I'm not going to be successful. Like, you can, everyone's definition is different. Like, even coming down to, like, we've had dream car conversations. My dream car is like $54,000. Your dream car is like a couple $100,000. Like, our level of success or dreams are different, and you just got to be able to recognize that.
But that's why I also think that you're gonna, like, do it though, because there's something like in part of the process, right? And, like, I think what I've been very bad at, and I've noticed, I spoke about it a lot in like kids from dire situations, is that, like, we force a dream that's so big that if you don't get it, you're a failure. Right? It's like NBA, some professional sport, some artists, and I'm not saying all the kids, because a lot of kids who want to be practical, but then I feel like they also go under it a little bit. And, like, let's not talk about the politics side of it or the system side of it. Let's just talk about the foundation of it. And so, like, I think the good thing about you is that, like, you can actually get a $54,000 Cadillac by the time you're 28. Yeah. And then figure out how to get double that. Let's say you want to get...
What's the next dream car?
I want to get a $116,000 car. Yeah. Well, you know what it takes to get a $54,000 car.
Right.
Right? And so... And I've learned this just being around different people. And I'm like, oh... Like, that's how you get to these different levels. Because, like, if you aim for $1 million and you haven't made 1,000 yet... Like, well,
how many? Unfathomable, right?
Oh, or you haven't made 100,000 yet. You need 10 100,000s to get $1 million. So you have to know how to make 100,000 10 times, right? And so I'm now, like, not editing my goals, but like looking at it like as, like, I like cars, so a lot of the cars that I like are exotics and shit, and they cost a lot of money. And so, like, for me, like, maybe for you, like, it's more of a house than a car. Like, a car, like,
100%.
Yeah, like, you want a whip, but, like, you don't really care about the whips, right? And like, for me, it's like I care about houses, but I can definitely see myself with a fam, probably not with, like, the house I could get, because I have, like, too many cars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm complete reverse. When I daydream about, like, my future, what I daydream is, like, big open kitchen, big living room. I got the whole family over, 100 people family reunion, and we're just cooking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas, like, I know maybe not you, but, like, other people, they're when they fantasize about their future, it's just like, yeah, joyriding down to California in my Lambo, you know. And I'm just like, yeah, like, I don't know, that doesn't really excite me like that.
This is what I care about for my dream home: the kitchen, and then the garage.
That's it.
That's it.
Bro, the list of stuff I need at my house is crazy.
And low key, I need a man cave. But, like, if I can't have the man cave, I'll have the garage. You get what I'm saying? Which will be my man cave. But, like, I really like, have, like...
You want, like, a separate garage? So it's like the kid's garage, your wife's garage, and then yours. Yeah, so... Like, that's dad's garage.
So I think, like, I'm going to have some property, and I'm going to have, like, probably, like, a three-floor garage.
3-floor garage?
It's gonna be a compound, bro. It's gonna be, like, a thing.
Like on some Fast and Furious shit? You know how they, like, spin?
No, seriously, bro. It's gonna be, like, any car I want. And, like, the crazy thing about me, like, there's, like, some Kias that I like. Yeah. So there'd be, like...
Oh, you pointed out a Lexus yesterday.
Yeah, and I was like, there's gonna be some cars that, like, are just kind of, like... Yeah. May not be exotic, I just fucking like it, right? And so... Right. But, yeah, like... No, it is funny. We're all, like...
Yeah, everybody's got, like, different goals. But it's funny how, like, growing up, you assume everyone's the same. Like... Yeah, so, I assumed that everyone viewed college as success.
No, so, that's the thing, though. There's some societal things.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, like, now that I'm getting older, and I think older people recognize this too. I think it's just something you realize over time. Like, like, you can actually become successful in a plethora of different ways, right? Like, it's not... College is definitely the most, like, paved road. Yeah. But there's a lot of ways to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, I agree with that.
It's just,
Because, like, I think just life is just, like, the virus, bro. Like, life is changing so fast and so rapidly that like we're in a new world, bro. And it just hit me.
I was just about to say,
it just
through this, I've had like this realization. I'm like, yo, everything could fall apart tomorrow. And am I going to be happy that I did what I was told and got that college degree? Probably not.
Yeah, bro.
But if the world ends tomorrow and I did what I wanted to do and I pursued the goals that I was aiming for,
yeah,
and then the world ended, I probably like would feel like cool about it. I'd be like, yeah, I got to do what I strive to do. You know?
Yeah, bro. Like it's
So it's just funny.
I feel like
and I've been thinking
it.
more about like, you know, since all the college sports have kind of canceled and stuff, I've had a chance to like reflect on it. Like, oh man, I feel bad for all those seniors that don't get to play out March Madness, especially.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I also feel a way because there's a lot of seniors, especially in basketball, that don't ever make it to the NBA. But I've been kind of like thinking about it this way. I'm like, yo, like what if the college was enough? Like, what if that gave them their fix of basketball and being a star, and that's what they wanted, right? Like, in the same way that I don't want like a really expensive car, maybe they're not striving for the NBA. So we shouldn't view their basketball career as a failure because they didn't make it to the league. Like maybe getting their jersey in the rafters at whatever college or setting a school record, that was it, and they're good.
So
and they feel fulfillment.
I think so. This is what I look at: anyone that's like smart, anyone that's good at sport, anyone that's good at anything for a long time since they were little, have a skewed version of themselves. And so doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but like if you're that good at basketball, like you're playing Division I, you've always been good at basketball
For the most part, yeah.
Your whole life.
Yeah.
You've never not been good at this sport. So now you're around other people who are just as good as you. Some have better things, right? And I think, and like, if you want to be the best, which I think is what I'm chasing now in life, is whatever I do, I want to be the best at it. Like, not just in my city, just not in my the Eastern Hemisphere. I want to be whatever I decide to do, I want to be the best at it in the world. And that, I think, is a different level of taking things than like being good at something, because it's like we're all good at it, and I think that's the first level of college basketball. Then there's the kids who are like so naturally talented that they're one and dones. Like they're gonna go to the league.
They're bouncy, they can shoot.
They have that pull, and that's part of it's luck, and part of it's just natural talent and athleticism.
Right.
Then there's the kids. So then outside of those kids who are now in the draft because of their Twitter account, because they're a good brand, because they can jump, they got bounce, all these aspects now. Then are the kids who like decide to be Steph Curry, decide to be LeBron James. Like, hear what the people talk. Like, hear how they talk about LeBron. Like, he works out every day. Kobe shot and worked. Like,
Kobe showed up to practice 2-3 hours early.
So they're like talented, extremely talented, and they also work their asses off. And when I hear Iman Shumpert and all these people talk about like LeBron, like, yo, like he really is that in shape. He really spends $1 million on his body. He really be working out. Like, we all said he had a bad shot like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, especially when he was in Miami.
Yeah.
Bro, man has a clip now.
But he's put the hours and the hours. Like, you don't do that shit in one offseason.
You don't do that shit in one offseason. So now he has the clip, and now he's still explosive, right? And he's in his 30s, right? And it's like, oh, like this, he wants it that bad. He wants to be the best that bad. And so I think in the conversation of like college and all that stuff is like, yo, there is like, when you drop out of school, and whatever you decide to do, it doesn't have to be so grand scheme that the best in the world. It can be the best in your city or the best in this part, like, or at least one of the best. Because like to be the overall best, the GOAT is really hard to do. Yeah, but it is like
you got to make that decision.
You have to make that decision.
Yeah, there's a rapper I listen to. You know, Wretch 3-2.
Yeah,
he was on my album of the year list. He has a line that he talks about like at some point you got to decide whether you want to be the best in your city or your school. Like, you want to be the best, and obviously, like, you could take that and expand it to state and country. But he was just making the point of, like, what do you want to be? You want to be the best in your friend group? Or do you want to be the best in your state? You know what I mean? And you really got to make that decision. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, no, I just want to be the best in my city. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's a serious conversation, bro.
But just make sure that that's actually what you want.
No, it's a serious conversation.
Yeah.
Like... I agree with you. I agree with him. I agree with you. I just think it's just like, when you say you want, like,
you gotta mean it, whatever it is.
Like when because I think a lot of people say they don't mean it. They just say it because they can get away with it, and it's like, no. Like when you say that shit, bro, like become obsessive. I feel like, like I'm ready to guy with like the $100 million car collection. which I know sounds crazy right now to say on the podcast.
Yeah.
But also sound crazy when like.
I mean, we could put it in easier terms. Like there was a clip that came out this week because sports are canceled, so all we're getting is highlights and shit. There's a clip of Israel Adesanya in the cage in a 5th round fight. It was the start of the 5th round of a fight between him and the challenger for who was going to fight the champion for the belt.
Yeah.
A crazy fight. One of the best fights ever. But you could see he's mouthing. He said, "I'm prepared for this. I'm ready to die." He was saying that like out loud over and over and over. Yeah. And it's like we can have conversations about whether that's the right thing to do, but that's the level of obsession, determination that you have to have if you decide to be the best in your area or in your universe, right? Yeah. Like the minute he decided that he wanted to be champion, he has to be ready for that. He has to commit to dying, to falling apart, right? Now, he believes we've set up boundaries in order to prevent that sort of thing, but you also have to accept it.
No, like not only accept it. No. So yes, accept it. Yeah. And also like believe so much. So. Yeah. Like we've been talking a lot off camera in the life. Like right now, my why is changing, and what I do things for. Mm-hmm. But like when I go back, I was so obsessed with the idea of like I'm not going to school. I am never gonna have a boss, and I want to do whatever the fuck I want to do every single day. Mm-hmm. Let me repeat that. Like,
say that one more time.
I don't want to lose my point, but I was like, I didn't want to go to fucking school, right? I didn't want a fucking boss, and like, I wanted to do what I wanted to do every fucking day. I was so obsessed with that idea that like, by any means, I made that happen. Mm-hmm. And so now that got me to like whatever point I am in life right now, which is not like crazy, is like now I'm at the point where it's like, oh shit, what carried me through all the hard times. It was that idea of like, and I saw it happen. And so now I'm like, okay, there was some times I didn't work as hard as I could have worked. And so I think like everything is momentum and time. And so the harder you work at something, the more you go at it, the more you become obsessive over something, the more you believe something like I'm prepared to die for this thing. And you start seeing how powerful your words become. And you start saying, when I say something, I mean it. And so sometimes I run in trouble a lot in life because I say things in absolutes. But I think because I've like trained my brain to be like I'm gonna like do this thing. Yeah. Right. So like I remember when we talked about the podcast, this one and the other one I'm part of. I was like, yo, like I really wanted those podcasts to like do really well and be like the best podcast like coming out of the city right now. And like I don't want to do any early onset claims, but like you cannot say that we haven't been consistent. You cannot say that we have not tried our best to give you the best content. Mm-hmm. You cannot say that like we're not setting ourselves up for being the best of what we do. Yeah. And so like, because in my brain is like it's already done, and I believe it so. Right? Can I slow down in speaking? Yes. Can I stop saying crazy ass takes? Yes. But like,
that's how you. But that's working out in the off season. That's working on your jump shot. Exactly. Right.
Like my left hand is not as strong.
But we got the fundamentals down. We know how to play basketball.
By year 3 of this podcast,
yeah, we'll be shooting half court jump shots. Come on now. But nothing but net.
And so it takes time.
Yeah, and I think that's something that is. I think it's harder for our age people to accept that. And I would say like our generation, but I would assume that our parents felt similar. I think it's harder for us to accept like the patience thing because what we're pushed through Instagram and YouTube and everything, we're pushed this idea of like someone just picked up a basketball and all of a sudden knew how to shoot a jump shot, right? But what people don't show you is the hours in the gym and the hours on the treadmill. Like people don't show you these things.
No, they don't.
So I think like as a demographic, as you know, the young adult age that we're in, we all could collectively do a better job of appreciating the journey and valuing patience and just recognize that, you know, if we're aiming for something, that something might be 10 to 15 years down the road, and you just have to accept that, right? Like, and I think that's something that I've run into personally, and I could even talk to like the podcast, like, you know, very early on we were fortunate enough to have Xavier Tillman come on, which is like a big win for us. And what we were chasing, or I'll say personally, what I was chasing was the next big guest to come on the show. But what I didn't realize is like, okay, like we made a jump shot, but now we got to get back in the gym. And so we continue to grind. And now we're in a position where, you know, we have great guests frequently. You know?
Yeah,
and that's only going to increase the more and more that we do this. You know?
It takes a lot of time, and it's okay.
But you got to accept that, right? Like,
but it's also okay to be lost on your way because, like, it hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
Or it's your first time doing it.
Definitely hasn't been done.
And so, like, part one of it is about being authentic and knowing yourself. Mm-hmm. Part two is, like, it's always not really subscribed to getting outside of the situation. I think a lot of people focus on the destination too much. Mm. And so, like, and I felt trapped to that too. Whatever fulfillment you think the destination is going to get you is not going to get you there. It's not the money. It's not at this point. Like, you have to love this part of it. You have to love that we come down here
in the basement,
and we do the podcast every single day because we think we have something to say and we think people will enjoy it.
Right. Like, and we also have eyes on the prize.
And, like, yeah, it gets hard, and yeah, it gets maybe boring, and, like, whatever. It's, like, monotonous and, like, whatever. But you keep doing it, eventually, like, you're going to, like, okay, it means something because that's what I set out to do. Right. And, like, you know, I think if you're like me, like, quick starter, always have different ideas, or it's okay, like, of not knowing what it's going to look like, you know? Like, maybe a great way to segue into, like, coronavirus right now. And so, like, today I've been hit up with a lot of questions about what we're going to do, what people should do, like, things to think about, right? And then just, like, like, we just got to test, we got to iterate. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. So, like, I don't know how, I know this is very serious, but I don't know how long it's going to last. Mm-hmm. It could be a week. So, for guys who don't know, you know, I have a restaurant in the food business right now. They're saying that, like, we cannot have our doors open. So, you know, as a restaurant, like, your business is all dependent on your traffic, right? Now, luckily, for the last 3 years, we've been building a nice to-go, basically, business. And hopefully...
And a nice, loyal customer
base. But still, you know, as the first measure, what's going to happen next? A curfew, and then they can fully close them down? Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, we have to take our strides and figure it out. And it's like... But because we've been through repetition, because we've been obsessed with this idea of this, like, doing something different in Grand Rapids, is the only reason why we're still here. And I never took a loan out. Here's getting no fucking money. Like, whatever you think Irie is, bro, it's not that, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we fight every single day. Like, it's not, like, I make money off it, but not as much money as you probably guys think I do. Mm-hmm. Right?
So then, for the people listening, I think it'd be valuable. Talk about, because we're going through, you know, this kind of crisis, but you're feeling it on the ends of, like, your passion. Could you maybe explain, like, what's going through your head right now? Like, how are you feeling emotionally? Like, how's your outlook on the future? Like, how are you feeling?
Bro, honestly, like, I just got asked this question. Like, when I'm in it, it's hard for me to, like figure out my feelings. Okay. Like, I feel a sense of urgency to figure it out. I feel like a duty to make sure everyone's good. Okay. I feel responsibility and a pressure. I don't know if those are the right words for feelings, you know, but that's how I feel. And I feel like it's, but I also feel like an opportunity in a weird way. I feel like I already have the answer. And I think this is going to, like, actually, like, make me. Mm. Like, this moment right now is, like,
you're viewing it as a challenge. Versus a roadblock.
Yep. And it's like, in a weird way, I know it sounds sick, it's like I've been waiting for something like this to happen. I don't know how, like, that's how I felt like. Yeah. Like, this morning when I got all the news, like, what did I do in the group message for the team?
Right.
Ready.
Ideas. Like,
this is what we're going to do.
Right.
And so, like, for me, it's just like, as I look back on my actions, it's not like I feel like I'm so smart, it's not that, guys. Is that I look back and, like, I'm weird. Yeah. Like, everyone else is asking me what to do and they're freaking out. And I went straight to, like, yo, I need a logo made. Yo, I need t-shirts made up. Yeah. Yo, I need the website to look like this.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and it's just like,
I think about, like,
I'm not afraid. I'm not freaking out. And I'm just like, yo, I'm fully aware that, like, I should be freaking out right now. And like at least some type of word. Yeah. Right? But I'm, like, low-key excited. I low-key feel pressure. And it's like, oh, I'm about to crush this. And I'm, like, seeing everyone else do stuff. I'm like, oh, we're going to do it better than them. And it's just like,
It's funny because when you say stuff like that,
Yeah.
I believe it, and that's why like I'm so passionate about like working with you, is because I believe the shit that you say, and I think, you know, like as someone who
appreciate
also,
it, by the way.
as someone who also like understands that, like, you know, pressure makes diamonds, right? And you can either step up to the plate or go back to the dugout. Like you have a choice. You have a choice right now. Like you can close for the next month, I'd assume. Yeah. And no one's gonna be like, "Oh, Vince, like you're scared." No, like because that's what the move is, right? Yeah. But you're choosing to find the maneuver, the way around it. Yeah. Whether that's going under the bridge and swimming, like whatever you got to do, you're gonna get there. Way, yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, I give you a lot of props, bro, because that mentality is like the reason I think why you're in the position you are in, and then the reason why it's like I'm not worried for you, essentially. Yeah. Like I think. Shout out to other people though, man. I need a lot of help. Yeah, but like also like shout out to people who apply that same rationale to every area of their life. Like your family, like going through your family story is a good example of that. Like, and that's probably where you get it from. Like they were in a situation and they decided to do something about it. Like there's so much power in that, and that's something. That's one thing I'll give my parents. They made me. Yeah. That. Yeah. Solution oriented. You know, it's really like. I think it truly is as simple as there's two options, right? Give up or go. That's about it. Like there maybe is a third option in there, but like that's really what it comes down to, right? Like you're either gonna say, okay, like, you know, shout out to coronavirus for putting me under and Irie's now closed. Yeah. Or you're gonna say, okay, shout out to coronavirus for making me the hottest delivery food service in the state of Michigan, whatever. Oh, you know what I'm saying, though? But like it's like really the way you approach it. It's really it. Like, hey, if it snows, you can decide to skip your workout that day. Yep. Or you can shovel the driveway and go to the gym. Yeah. You got two choices. That's it. No one's gonna say, "Oh, okay, I understand." No one's gonna say, "Oh, you're dumb for not going to the gym." Yeah. Because there was snow. No. People are gonna tell you, "Yeah, there's too much snow. Of course you didn't go to the gym." Yeah. Or you can be that person that said, "Yeah, I know it was snowing, but I shoveled my driveway and went to the gym." Yeah, I think those non-negotiables you set out with yourself. Yeah. And the people that I've been around, like, fuck me. Like, people who are, like, killing it in life, whether that's financially or just happy, whatever it is. Yeah. You set up those. They set those non-negotiables. Yeah. No matter what. Like, it's kind of scary. I'm doing this. It's like, this is what they do. Yeah. And so that's how I know where things are on my priority list. Mm-hmm. It's like, I've been working out a lot. I've been losing a lot of weight. But it's not the highest thing on my priority list. It just made it to the list. And so I'm conscious of that. I'm like, yo, when this starts moving up to, like, I rather work out than, like, eat. Then I just know that, like, like this is things are shifting. That's why I know for sure that it's a thing for life for me. Yeah, cause I am that extreme. Yeah, right now it's not there yet. I know that I'll always work out. Is at that point. Mm-hmm. It hasn't become for me yet, where it's a have to for my day. I do feel weird when I don't, but like I'm okay if I miss it. Like right now I'm chilling that I don't have to go to the gym. Yeah, no, I'm you know what I'm saying because of coronavirus. But what's funny about that is like, so I don't know how many of the listeners know when I graduated high school, I was 300 pounds. So for the first like 2 years after high school, I spent essentially that whole time like learning how to lose weight. And obviously there was people in my life who helped make that a possibility. Big shout out to those. You definitely know who you are. But like a lot of that is kind of coming down to like what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Like I had non-negotiables in my life, and that was 10 a.m. I eat breakfast, and this is what I eat. And at 2 I eat lunch. This is what I eat. Mm-hmm. And then at 6 I eat dinner, and that's it. And boom, I'm done for the day. Yeah. And I remember vividly, like there was times where I made sacrifices, you know, and sacrifices in air quotes, but like, you know, my friends would hit me up, you guys want to do dinner? You want to go to this concert? And I said no because I knew it was a bad health decision. Yeah. Right? And that's like what it comes down to. And, you know, whether if that's needed or not, that's a conversation. But that just kind of really wraps up like the whole discussion. It's like, mm-hmm. Look, like you got to be so obsessed with it that no matter what, it's going to get done. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And I relate to you with the gym thing. I'm not there yet. I'm not to the point where like, if I don't work out, I feel weird. I'm not there yet. But I am at the point to where I recognize that if I don't work, or I feel better if I do work out. Yeah. Right. So it's getting there. I'm still training. It's part of the process. Still training my brain. You still train your brain, and so you might dive deep on like I want to feel better. Yeah. So it's not even about working out now. I like to feel better. You like the feeling of like the post workout high or whatever it is. And so for me, it was like I didn't like looking how I looked on pictures. Yeah. And so like now like for some reason like it's becoming that, but now it's becoming like the way I feel. Mm-hmm.
but those two things are getting me to certain levels, but they're not the thing that's like rooted that's gonna make me go forever. And so like I don't know what it's gonna be yet. And goes back to like I think earlier, just like yo, like we just got to keep going even if you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Figure it out.
Like you just got to keep going.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta like build the train as you're
slowing down and stopping is not gonna help you, bro.
Yeah.
Think about like
1 week at the gym, 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Like you're never gonna get anywhere.
Pick one.
Might as well just not go.
Either you're not
That's
going, or
always
you're
like
gonna go.
I always had this weird rationale of like people who would work out and then the next picture on their story would be like a cheat meal, and I was like, well, that's like what's the point?
What's the point?
You might as well not work out and eat healthy, or I don't know. I never really understood that, you know. And I guess like it could be their reward for working out.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, like
but it's funny. That's an example of like pushing your belief system onto someone else. Because I believe that like I would never cheat on a day I worked out on, because why would I waste a workout, right? But that's the way I think about it.
Yeah.
Not everyone thinks about it that way.
Exactly.
Some people are like, okay, if I go to the gym, that means I get a donut on the way home.
Yeah.
That trade-off might work for them. But that doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work for you.
But that doesn't mean I have to push it on them, you know?
Exactly.
It's like funny things that like I'm slowly realizing about myself.
Yeah. And I learned that too. Like, I think our personality types, could we share it?
Yeah.
Can be pushy. And can be very just like, this is what it is.
This is the way. Yeah.
And like...
Shout out to Mandalorian.
I think a lot of times internally, like we like believe it, but not believe it as much as people think we believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're more like saying like, no, that's what it is for us, and it's not really like
the way it comes across
is that we're saying that's the way it's for everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I get in a lot of trouble because I'm like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? And I'm like, well, it's for me. I'm just saying like for me, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, but I have seen people that like around, like I might have put pressure on because I said something.
Yeah.
And so like, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like, think
Mm-hmm.
about as men, what other men say what men are supposed to be like.
Yeah. Dominant, alpha.
Right? And so now you become a version of what
Right.
you think a man is supposed to be because someone else said so.
Oh, yeah. I struggled with that a lot growing up, bro, because I was like, you know, as men or whatever, we're told through movies and society that we're supposed to be like tough and alphas.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, yo, I'm chilling. I'm just here to like make people laugh and have a good time. And I always struggle with that. Like, yo, I'm like not tough, but that's cool.
That is totally cool, bro.
You know, like I'm tough. Like when it's time to be tough, I'm tough, right? But I'm not the dude who's just like sitting in the corner like mean mugging. Like that's not me.
You know, I don't think you have to be a tough guy. I'm not tough either, bro.
Yeah, but it's
I'm
funny
just
how
not a
like that's
bitch.
what we're told.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I always tell people like, yo, I'm fun, I'm chill. Like, can I get aggressive? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I like say shit? Yeah. But like, bro, like I'm not like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm also like not a bitch though. Like, I do have a line. And it is because I feel like how I was raised. Like you know what I'm saying?
Your
It's
parents
like
had a line.
parents had, but I had a twin sister, so like it's not. I could like I always tell people like it's not like I can punch my sister, bro. All you brothers out there, you guys got through this anger, all this stuff. Imagine being mad for like 3 weeks and your sister like hits you with a remote in your
And you couldn't do nothing about
couldn't
it.
do nothing about it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it was weird in my family. We weren't allowed to fight or wrestle or any of that.
Really?
Yeah, so I was never able to like.
Please use words.
Hey,
That's why I got
why I gotta go with words,
Yeah, I'm
bro.
saying, bro.
That's why I got
I'm
good.
so good with words, bro.
Because the only way to win in my house was to be good with words. Because I couldn't, like, if I jumped on you and swung, like, by the second punch, I'm in my room, grounded. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, there's no point in swinging. So I might as well just tell you, like, I might as well break you down real quick with some psychology.
Get at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, shout out to my older cousin. He like made sure he like also toughened me up a lot. Cause I definitely was like I was super sensitive. I think I still am. I just a different way, but like I was super sensitive as a kid. So I think like he helped me like be more like of a man because I didn't know how to process. And when I say man, not alpha, like I didn't know how to process my emotions. It was like happy, sad, angry, and that like
no in between.
No, so it was like I was happy, then you made me upset, then I got sad, then I had tears, and I got angry. And when I was angry, it was like my eyes, everything, whatever I did is what I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those are like, if you look at emotions like colors, like those are the primary colors, right? But there also is like a ton of secondary colors.
Exactly.
A lot of mixtures in there, like sea green.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can be happy and mad at the same time.
Yeah.
That's real.
So I'm like, I'm tough, bro, but like,
I get you. Like,
that's why people think I'm so tough. I'm like, bro, listen, like I'm not a bitch, but like, don't get me wrong. I know what it feels like to be sad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one of those guys like, oh, I've never been sad in my life. Well, I'm like too hard for that. Like, no, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm saying yes, and you still got to do this.
Right.
Right?
Because like what you do with it.
That's what you do with it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna cry in front of nobody though. Yo, I tore my ACL and my MCL, and I wanted to cry, but I wouldn't cry in front of everybody. That's how in control
I cry in front of people, bro.
If my emotions that I am.
Imagine
physically in pain, you want to cry, but I'm like, oh, there's too many people, I'm not gonna cry.
When's the last time you like bawled?
Bawled?
Yeah.
Bro, I don't even know.
Like really
long
bawled.
time.
I can't.
I bawl if I really want
when
something and I don't get it. In the sense of like, whatever.
Like as a kid? Like if you wanted a toy or whatever?
No. Like more like failure for me, like messes with me. When I actually want something. For a lot of things, like I'm okay with it, but like if I really
you don't want it that bad,
or if I want to do something good, and like I hate being judged by other people. So a lot of times, like, I'll be like last time I probably cried a lot. I was like messing up in school because I could articulate myself, but I couldn't show it in the work.
Yeah.
So I probably wanted I definitely wanted to like see that grade or see that approval of like you are smart, right? 'Cause I didn't get that.
Yeah.
So then like I would cry or be upset if I didn't get that thing. So I think anything like that, I probably cried. Like, you know, any females who listen to this, I broke my heart. You know, probably got me like upset a little bit. But like, I don't remember the last time I like was bawling, crying, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember the last time.
For me, it was like when my grandma passed. That was like 4 years ago.
Wow.
Man, love me Grams. I love Graham. We didn't have like a personal connection by any means at all. It was grandma grandson dynamic, but like I just had a lot of memories with her.
Oh, so you had something to say. Like, you had something.
Yeah, like that was grandma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my mom's parents weren't around like that. So that was my grandparents. Like all my friends were like, yeah, hanging out with grandma, and I wouldn't really get it.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, exactly. But then like, you know, I would say between like ages like 6 and 10 maybe, I was at Graham's a lot, and like she would cook, and I remember the meals that she would make vividly, and like the desserts, and I remember like the home. So like when she passed, it was
the memories are gone with that too.
Yeah, it was like, oh no, I don't get the strawberry rhubarb pie anymore, dog. Yeah. Like what you mean? Now, granted, there was a lot of meals of hers I wasn't a fan of. She used to put pineapples and cottage cheese. Yeah, that was nasty. That was nasty. And what was weird is I think I would like it now because I like pineapples, but at the time,
you're like, nah, fuck
hell no.
You're not messing with that.
Bro, I used to have to fake that one real hard. She didn't have a dog or anything either. There was no easy way out.
Oh man, but know what's funny? My parents were a lot of auntie, uncle, granddad, grandma to a lot of people. So I had that dynamic. We're the black kids that live in middle class. Everyone else doesn't have that, right? So like we're like, oh, we're about to go to they're rich or whatever. That's what a lot
you're
of
the
people
rich
say.
black kid.
Yeah, rich black kids. What does that even fucking mean? You know what I'm saying? And so then like, so my parents had. When I go back, I'm like, yo, my parents did so much for so many people. It was crazy. Like,
you think is that instilled in you? Like, are you a giving person?
I am, but what I realized really early on is that like, I think they got taken advantage of a lot of times, and when you
saw that side of it,
and I saw that side of it, and I felt like I get taken advantage of a lot of times. So then, like, as I got older, I learned to like become more selfish because even though it sounds crazy, guys become more selfish. Now you're super selfish, become less selfish, right? But if you're like me, where like
you're basically not.
You're trying to do something, but you're also trying to like have what everyone else wants to do too.
Yeah.
Like we can't go to California and go to New York. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta choose.
So you gotta decide you're going to New York, you're going to California.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times when you're on this journey, if you're like me, you're trying to fit everybody in and go there, go here with them, and like see right. And it's like, and I used to say this like, I was probably 18. I came to this epiphany. I was like, climb your own mountain. Everyone has a mountain they have to climb, and it's like, can we be on the same pathway there? For a lot of it, yes. Right? But when it comes down, you found your mountain that you want to climb, whatever that is in life, like you gotta climb that shit by yourself, bro. And it's like I realized that, and like I know it sounds kind of weird, but like people use like the other version of that was like, oh, now we all have a building, we all have a floor, right? And I was like, well, whose building is it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then what happens if something bad happens to the building? Like, do we all go rebuild that floor, right? And then, so to me, it's like it sounds great in theory, but I do think the climb your own mountain, whether that's a family, whether that's business, whether that's personal growth, whatever it is, like figure it out and then climb that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so like, and just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And like, 'cause no one can climb it for you. But when you look around, you see everyone else climbing up. I feel like you feel good because like the people that are also climbing their mountain, right? And like, imagine all the mountains are super close, right? I mean, it's far away but close. You can have communications. You can see what somebody's doing.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's the era we live in, bro.
Yeah.
Because like, imagine you're climbing your mountain, you look up, someone's already up at the top.
But I think that's where it gets dangerous.
You know,
like you can't compare different mountains.
Right.
You can't compare different skill sets.
Different climbs.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people that can
maybe their rocks were aligned a little bit better for you. You know what I mean? There's a lot, but it's funny. We have to have those conversations.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
and the difference,
I think we do talk a lot about comparison, but I think maybe
here's a perspective.
Yeah, like perspective is probably better. Like naturally, like human nature, we're gonna compare, right? Like we compare each other to ourselves, but you also have to compare journeys if you're gonna compare.
Exactly. So this is how I look at things that were like the rich kids or things that are built for people.
Yeah.
Like the biggest perspective change of somebody who like believes that and knows that to be true versus someone who like is envious of it is that like the person who like, let's say they grew up a little bit rich, you know, mom, whatever, it looks easier. It probably is easier. Like they're fully aware of that and they take advantage of it. The issue with a lot of people who don't come from that is that they think their route is so hard that it's basically impossible. And it's like, yo, that route could be hard too. Yeah. But like that person believes that it's easy. And so like, I think if you're coming from like a hard spot, like believe that your route is also easy. Like it is second nature for you because that's all you know. So when you're comparing yourself to like, oh, that rock is bigger, it's cleaner, it's smoother, or more grip on it, whatever it fucking is, like you done just fucked up. No, your rock is perfect, bro. It's perfect for you. That's why you're climbing this mountain.
Right, climb it.
Cause I guarantee you that it may be too smooth for you. You might fall off that mountain. Right?
Yeah.
And so like I think one thing I've been really good at, and that's probably like a great way to explain it, is that like I look at my probably in comparison hard mountain to climb, but easier than others.
You tell yourself it's easy.
Right? I tell myself it's easy. It's just hard, right? Anything anyone's doing right now is hard. Yep. School, work, life is all hard. Like I'm never gonna be like, I've been seeing a lot of entrepreneurs like go on Instagram like, oh, my life's hard. Like I don't do that shit. Like no one's life is harder than someone else's life. All our lives are equally hard. Now there are some people going through shittier shit than other people, like circumstance wise, but like on the difficult level, I think it's all similar. You know what I'm saying? And like, I know it's like a blanket statement. Other people probably listen like, yeah, shut the fuck up. But like,
no, I mean it's true. Like, let's say, I mean we could break it down. Like some people are doing great financially, but their home life is awful, right? Like, I mean we hear that example all the time. Like millionaires aren't as happy as you think they are, or whatever it is. And it's like, that's real. And often if you find like the poorest families, not often, I'm saying not often is disingenuous, but the poorest families can sometimes have the strongest family relationships. Yeah. Because that's all you got. Like all you got is family. So, you know, it's never, ever, ever assume that someone has it all figured out. Yeah. Everybody's struggling like on some end in their life. Yeah. Or at least fresh out of a struggle, or they're about to walk into a motherfucking spider web.
Like, what is your foundation built on, G? Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
If it is on, you know, sand, turn that sand into clay. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's on toothpicks, bundle those toothpicks up and turn them into like sticks. You get what I'm saying? Like you have to recognize, like, yo, like you gotta recognize things. Like, oh,
I think a lot of it comes down to acceptance. You know, like accept where you're from, accept the decisions your family made, or whatever it is, and go.
What got you to A to B is not gonna get you from B to C, yo.
I like that.
That's the biggest thing I learned.
Adapt.
You gotta adapt.
Yeah.
The niggas gotta adapt.
Yeah.
Sit on the mat.
Before we dip out, since we are going through this pandemic and everyone's stuck at home,
then you started a rap.
You freestyling right now?
I might.
We should give the people some music and Netflix and YouTube recommendations.
Yo, so Hunter on Amazon.
Hunter. Is that with Al Pacino?
Yeah, bro.
I haven't seen it. Is it good?
I watched the first 15 minutes.
And it got you hooked, though?
Low key, I was like, I might watch it.
Okay.
And low key, I don't like scary stuff. It was kind of scary.
Oh, it was scary?
It was like action-y, scary.
Pass.
No, it's not like, it's like thriller.
Okay. So like intense.
I don't want to ruin. Should I ruin it for you or no?
I mean, you're only going to ruin the first 15 minutes.
Okay, the first 15 minutes, is like this 1970s vibe, which I love. Like the energy.
So that's what Al Pacino does best.
Yeah, and then it's like they're like the house and like the people are eating and like it's like a barbecue, and then this woman comes up and like she remembers that guy. He's basically a Nazi, and she's like freaking out. She stops like Nazi, not whatever, and then a dude like kills everybody. Like
because she recognized him.
Yeah, whoa, and he's like 30 years of building this cover, la la la. And I was like, "What is going on?"
That's how they started the show?
It was dope. Like I didn't know it was happening though. It just came out of nowhere. So I think for Amazon or Netflix, that show is good. I also watched. I like Cars, so Formula One Netflix. I watched the second season dropped. I like that a lot.
I'm gonna start watching the show Alter Carbon. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
I want to start watching that because I saw
season 1 and season 2.
Anthony Mackie in the new season. I'm a big Anthony Mackie fan, so shout out Papa Doc. I'm gonna check for that show. I'm looking for like my next show though. I'm not gonna lie. I hope it's Alter Carbon, but
it's a good show. Because
I finished Peaky Blinders. I also finished the rewatch of the Peaky Blinders, so I'm looking for some.
Peaky Blinders are so good to me, man. Like
show so much.
We need more seasons, guys. Peaky Blinders, bro. Y'all need to drop that.
Did you see that the lead dude, Cillian Murphy? He's in A Quiet Place too.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's like one of the main characters.
Oh shit!
He's about to kill that shit. I love that guy.
Music wise,
we got a lot.
J&J, bro.
J&J. Jay Electronica dropped his. Is it actually his debut album?
Debut album,
which is fucking nuts. So go read Jay Electronica's Wikipedia page. That shit's wild. But yeah, I think we should review it next week. We should. Yeah. Cause that's a deep album. We should give ourselves like some time to marinate that thing.
Yeah, I like that album a lot.
But Jack Harlow dropped. I know we talked about that last time.
That one was smooth.
That's smooth. He not saying shit, but it's smooth.
No, but like it's not what you say; it's how you say it. And so
that's
like
very true. I think that's his whole style, bro.
That's his whole style.
He could say like I think that's why. Like, you know how he's kind of like a funny rapper?
Yeah.
Like, kind of?
Yeah.
I think that's why he gets away with it, because, like, the way he says it is, like, so smooth.
Yeah, and I think for him, it's going to be, like, how can he take his metaphors and his bars and, like, make a really great 3-minute song? I think that's his next challenge.
That also can catch a vibe, but it has some deepness to it.
He has, like,
Yeah, because he's got that, was it Paper Road on the last album?
Yeah, like, he can forever...
He can rap.
He can rap.
He definitely rap.
Like, he can forever do that suave, like, smooth thing.
Yeah.
It will get him far-ish, but he needs content. He needs good music if he, like, wants to, like, be here for, like, a long time.
I agree.
But, like, I thought new project he dropped, I was like, yo, every song here is a hit.
Every song.
Who else dropped? Lil Uzi dropped the Deluxe.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, I'll come out with it. Like, Lil Uzi, like, you know, I listened to the first one once. He has some hits on there. I don't know I think that's my favorite album, but this deluxe version, he does have a couple of songs. The one with Lil Durk.
Yeah.
I've been paying back to back. I really love that project.
Yeah, I like the second. I guess it's the first disc. I like the whatever he released most recently.
Yeah.
I like that better than the one he released last week.
And then I've been listening to a lot of old stuff too, like a lot of old Nip.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Nip.
That's been good. Yo, I finally on Apple Music, for anyone that uses Apple Music, I know they had the Essentials playlist for some time, but I finally like have gone into it and like hit shuffle on a few.
The Essentials?
Yeah, you know how they have like Drake Essentials or blank Essentials.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Have you seen those? And I found I was listening to Drake's on shuffle, which brought back like a lot of memories. But another one was. It might have been Jay-Z, actually. I don't remember. There was, like, another one that I was listening to.
Yeah.
And that was, like, fun for me. Because I'm an album guy.
Yeah.
Like, I know the second I get in the car, I know what album I'm going to play every time.
Okay, yeah.
So when I find like a fire playlist, I get really excited about it because it's like a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to make my own playlist really. So finding those like essential playlists has been fun for me. I like that.
That's dope.
Yeah, because I like what Spotify does with like their like push the playlist really heavy.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but I was like, all right, I'm assuming Apple does something to compete with this. I just like randomly thought about that.
Yeah.
And so I went and just started clicking through some of their playlists, and I was like, yo, this shit's actually cool.
I should like play.
So I've been kind of like messing around with.
I should play more of their playlists.
Yeah. Do you do playlists or do you do what I do too?
I make my own playlist all the time.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's the problem. I don't make my own playlist, and like I also only add things to my library. I add projects to my library.
Yeah.
I don't really add singles to my library. So for me, it's like when I sit down in the car, like I said, I know what album I'm going to because I know what mood I'm in.
So similar. I have two types of playlists I make. I'll take like albums that I like so are similar.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I'll just give you guys. Right now, I make these like quarter tapes for myself that I listen to the whole time.
Nice.
So right now is it second quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Right now my second quarter.
It's about to be
second quarter. Like, but I have I forgot what I named it, like Hustle something. But it's like, it's Nip, it's J&J, it's Jaru.
The dude from Cleveland?
The dude from Cleveland.
He's hard.
And who else is it in that playlist? And it's all their.
You're talking about like the Really Got It song?
Oh yeah, and it's yep. But like it's hard. No, he dropped a new project.
Yeah, I haven't got to it yet. Is it dope?
It's also Drake. And the albums that I've used for each one is, I'm calling. You've been seeing the post "Stay Down and Come Up."
Mm-hmm.
That's what I called it. So I have like Nip's latest project before he passed. Or repeat it. Nip. I have Jay Electronos. Then I have Scorpion on it, and then I have Keep Everything for Yourself.
That by Ja Rule.
And so right now, like that, and then I listen to. I'm not listening to that. I listen to Ebenezer, and I listen to Ant Clemens, and that's all I've been listening to for the last like 3 weeks.
You were right about that Ant Clemens project.
Hard.
That shit's fly.
Hard.
Yeah.
I wonder if he wrote for Jeremiah.
It made me want to tap into R&B more.
Yo,
R&B is not a genre. Like I have a deep love for R&B, but I don't check for it in the same way that I check for hip hop, right? Yeah. But like occasionally, and this is how I felt about Bryson Tiller. Occasionally, an artist will come along that I just feel it, bro. Like that's how I feel about Bryson. That's how I feel about Daniel Caesar's first project was like that for me. Freudian, like
that's on my forever playlist.
Yeah, occasionally like an R&B album comes along, and I'm just like, yo, like
I'm an R&B guy, bro. Like R&B are like certain kind of hip hop. So like Brent Faiyaz. He's never dropped a white project to me personally.
He's hard. What do you think about Bryson Tiller?
Bryson Tiller.
We've talked about him before, I think.
Bryson Tiller, I think he's coming upon a classic.
I hope he fucking drops music.
Yeah, I hope he drops music.
The way 2017 was the last time he dropped.
Yeah, Ant Clemens' character is pretty fucking good.
Rod Wave. I don't know if he falls under R&B. He's kind of like
he's like trap soul.
Yeah, trap soul type of shit.
Rod Wave is.
I fuck with Rod Wave though. I've been broke so many times.
What is Young Thug fall under, bro? I've been listening to old Young Thug all the time.
He's rap, but like he pushes the envelope so much it's almost hard. Yeah, you know.
Yo, and who else I've been listening to a lot lately? Cardi.
Playboy or Cardi B?
Playboy Cardi.
Okay.
Like Die Lit is such a good project. I don't even know like why.
You know what's funny is I've still to this day never listened to it.
You should listen to it.
But it's like it has like a cult following. That album does.
Bro, both his two only projects.
His debut was dope. I loved his debut.
I was like, bro, like, anytime you play that, so like, I didn't hold your hat.
Yeah.
Like,
I like the song Lil Uzi. Woke up to sounding like me. I like that song to this day.
Bro, like I was just listening to it. I'm like, bro, this is like such good.
Dope. That goes back to our conversation. that goes to our conversation last week. Like, why does he get a pass for not being very active? And I think it's because when he does actually drop, it's always fire.
You know why though? Because he's himself. And he's smart.
You think so? I think he leans into that I'm cool and wavy shit a little too much.
I think like that's what I think people like took his energy, bro,
and took it that way.
You remember when he was coming out? He was like he dropped a song and said, "What? Oh, let's drop this song." Yeah. and A$AP was on that. Like I feel like a lot of people like,
and that's like the hardest fucking song
ever, bro. And I feel like a lot of people like took his energy, and I honestly like understand why he's not dropping right now, because I think he just want to get grouped into like all these young rappers, which is smart, but it is also like, so lucky his last two projects are so really good that it can hold over.
Yeah,
but like
if it wasn't.
But remember, like My Stomach Hurt, like he just drops these like anthems, bro.
Yeah.
And
that was just like a little thing too. That wasn't even a song.
Yeah, so I really think he like makes 300 songs, and he like picks the best 10. 400 songs, picks the best 12. You know what I'm saying? And so like
he could be, yeah.
Well, I think other people like they just go and they drop it.
Yeah,
like that's the song.
I mean, you can tell, right? Yeah. Like you can tell when that shit happens.
Like one thing I like about Playboy Cardi, which I didn't like about Travis coming up. Don't get me wrong, I'm still a huge Travis fan. Is that Travis' music sounded unfinished till Astroworld. Like he didn't figure it out yet. Now he's figured it out.
There's a lot of skips.
Yo, right. Now he's figured it out. It's crazy. Like when you hear a Travis Scott feature,
but also I think
the whole thing's changed.
I bet Travis would relate to what we were saying earlier about just like figuring out as you go, right? Like
that's what I'm
whereas
saying,
like Playboy Cardi already by happenstance had it figured out before he popped. You know what I mean?
Think he's like found his rhythm. Yeah. But like when you don't know about rapping, it's like you don't know when you're gonna get on. And so you get on.
You don't know what you're gonna go through too.
You don't know. So you make all this money, you don't know when you can get on, and you don't have enough music to supply to people. Because like think about what it takes to make an album. Yeah, like a year.
I honestly feel like that's the reason why like we haven't heard from Bryson in a while, because like at least how it is on social media, it looks like his life's going pretty well. How's he gonna make a breakup album? Life's going well for him. You know what I'm saying? Like his past two albums have been breakup joints. Yeah. Like I think pretty sure he's married. He's got a kid on the way. Like, bro, we're not gonna get an album for a few years now.
He's chilling, bro.
Yeah, we gotta wait.
Life happens,
and then maybe like Honey's in a DM and his wife catches him, and then we're gonna get an album about that.
Are you wishing on this?
I'm not wishing it.
But I think this takes time. Like,
yeah, I think music is so much. Granted, there's a lot of artists that get away with not being the case, but like music for the most part, you talk about what your experiences are. So I think, though, especially R&B, it's like that.
Let's go back to your example real quick about D1 college versus NBA.
Yeah,
a lot of people like, yo, I got a hit song, I made it. Yeah, like a lot of people just
Fetty Wap, like Fetty Wap might be chilling right now.
Is just getting to the NBA. Yep, and I don't blame him because the amount of money like a rookie's making right now is stupid. You never have work again in your life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I was watching an interview with Jay Williams, and he was talking about his NBA experience. Do you know his story?
No, what's his story?
So he was a Duke player, demon, one of their best players of all time. Okay. Number two or three, I think 2 pick out of the draft. And then after his rookie year, he got into a motorcycle accident and ended his NBA career.
Really?
Yeah. So we never got to see like what Jay Williams really would have turned out into. Damn. Almost lost his life, everything.
Is he in a wheelchair and shit?
No. He's recovered fully, and he's like a really well-spoken, intelligent person now, which is nuts. Yeah. And he's really turned like a great career for himself. He's on First Take all the time, everything. Shout out Jay Williams. But he was saying, and this was crazy because it was like in the 90s or early 2000s when he got early 2000s, I think, when he got drafted. Yeah. He said he got like $6 million as the second pick, which first of all was crazy to me. I didn't know rookies were getting that much. I thought rookies were like $2 million. So
the
like
cap keeps going up. Bro.
So he was saying that like he's managed to make a life for himself because he at least had the $6 million. You know, he never got his max contract, but he got his $6 million, right? And I think that's a problem you run into. Like a lot of these kids in the music game,
$6 million is crazy.
They signed that $6 million record label deal. Like what Meg Thee Stallion's going through, although her dollar amount was a lot lower allegedly. Yeah. But like you get that deal and it's you're chilling.
I
like
think
some people don't
money
need
is just different money, bro.
Yeah.
But that structure must be stupid.
Yeah.
Like you have a hit song.
Like imagine going from nothing to $6 million overnight.
That's what I'm saying.
And
like your checks are probably coming in differently though with the music. Yeah. Like your probably checks coming like a year later.
Yeah. Or dispersed over a 2-year period,
right? And so your checks, your music checks, your action music is different,
right?
But you continue to drop music, and now people want to do your shows, and you be hearing people saying like they offer me $100,000 to walk through.
Yep.
So that's gonna give you $100,000 cash to walk through something.
You think about how long a show is, like 2 hours max, $100,000 for a 2-hour show, $50,000 an hour. That's almost. It's like
hot. Like
it's like 8 G's a minute, bro.
Right, you're on a whole different high. Bro.
And then you talk about Floyd Mayweather making like 10 million a second or whatever the fuck that shit is.
Unfathomable money.
Unfathomable money.
Like for what they do.
Yeah.
Like I get it through business and I get it for years, and everything takes years of hard work. Because Floyd didn't just jump in the ring and start making $200 million a fight, but like the fact he makes $200 million a fight, like one time,
nuts.
Like bro, stupid.
Nuts.
Stupid. All right.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Episode 41. Everybody stay safe. Wash your damn hands. Clean your damn balls. Clean your ass. All that good shit. Everybody stay clean. Stay safe. Prayers up for all those affected. Hopefully everyone gets speedy recovery. Stay your ass inside. Don't spread this shit nowhere.
Yes, bro.
This is the last thing for the next like 3 days that I have to leave the house. Or today was the last day I had to leave the house for like the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna take advantage of that. Just get work done, stay my ass. And if you ain't gotta leave the house, don't leave.
Don't leave.
Don't spread this shit.
Don't spread it.
All right.
All right. Peace.